All right, so here's what our setup looks like. Paper towel, paper, we got our brushes, we got a little dropper. I like using the dropper to add in some different colors and washes that I'll create. So you'll see me add water up into that top portion of the watercolor palette. I'll add a little bit of water to my brush and into the palette. And then I can tap that color right into that larger mixing space. And it's just nice if you want to mix different colors, make more of that color. Great way to get tones or shades. That would be considered just a classic wash, what I'm painting in the purple right now. I'm also going to show you how to do a tie-dye technique, and that's where I just wet my paper with a wash of clear water, and wherever I put the water is where my color is going to go. And I'll press that color in, and it'll spread only to where my water has been pushed and placed by the brush. This tie-dye technique, you can get some really cool organic effects. The paper tends to curl a little bit, so sometimes I place some tape down on my paper if I want to have more control. For this particular project though, it's better to just have your paper loose. This is a blotting technique. When my water is still wet, I can go back with a paper towel and blot over that color and pull up most of the pigment that's just been laid down. It's a nice way if you've made a mistake or if you're just trying to create a tint or some lighter portion in a painting. All right, so step one for this project is the dripping. So you'll be taking watercolor and filling in about 2/3 of your paper with watercolor. You can paint it whatever colors you'd like. You might do some practice before you start on your final paper, but you want to have about 2/3 of your paper covered. When I'm cleaning up for the day, if I put water into that left-hand side of the palette, I would just take a paper towel and blot out the watercolor and just try to clean it up as best as I can so someone can use it tomorrow. Once I'm done wiping off my paint palette, I'll take my tools over to the sink. I'll typically just pour out my water cup, make sure there's no extra colors in it, and place it on the drying rack to dry. Same for my paint brushes. I'm just going to go back and forth in the water underneath the sink and try to get as much paint off of my paint brushes as possible. And that'll ensure that we have really nice paint brushes for the full year. So just a back and forth motion. Take time and be really gentle with the brushes, and then place them on the drying rack. All right, day 2, my paper is dried. I sign out a thin tip Sharpie, and I start Zentangling in all of the white open spaces. This is going to take up a majority of the project time. You're going to be able to explore pattern and contrast, and that's about it.